to listen to the Lapped Traffic Podcast.
What is up, Lap Traffic Nation? Welcome to episode 273 of the Lap Traffic Podcast. I'm your host, the Professor Brandon Crowd. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Race 5 in the books, 5 different winners, and something tells me I think that trend is going to continue this weekend at COTA, and we're going to be 6 for 6. Let's keep it going. It's so much fun. Kyle Larson could have 5 wins right now, and that, racing's been okay. We'll get to Atlanta this weekend, but for the most part, racing's been good, So if we had, good racing and the same winner, that would take a little of the buzz away, I think, So the fact that, we've got good racing, we had what this weekend was at Atlanta, plus different winners, good, bad, and different. There's buzz, there's talk, and that's the important piece of it all. And that's why it makes sense to come and do a podcast. And that's why I'm here. So let's get into it a little bit here. Quick recap. Friday after work, it was cool. A buddy of mine came by, took me out for a couple drinks, which was great. Haven't seen him in a minute. Saturday, did some running around during the afternoon. My mom came and sat with Alden, and it was really the first time we've both been out of the house for that length of time, and that's always a fun thing, right? First time being away from your kid. And then we took Alden for his first outing when we came back, watched some basketball, some racing, and Sunday just chilled because Saturday took a lot out of us when you're not getting any sleep. So there's that. Absolutely crazy that we've got a 1-month-old. He's just so precious. I love the fact that you guys love seeing the pictures that I post about him on the show or on the Twitter handle there. So I'll not saturate the content with baby pictures like I have been on Facebook. So there's that. Last week, Grant Enfinger was back on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed Grant's interview, and always fun to talk and catch up with Grant. He's been on a lot throughout the years. And to continue tonight, Grant's teammate, Jack Wood, got him for you here in just a minute. At the end of the show, going to have Christian Rose, who was supposed to be on last week, had to reschedule for this week. And excited to hear about his ARCA career and racing there. We'll kind of lump in everything from Atlanta here. Got your social media shout outs. Aaron Studwell will be on. Fair warning, there will be some Big Ten basketball talk when Aaron comes on. So much craziness happened with the tournament kicking off last week and all that. Can't wait to dive into that a little bit. And of course, Lucky Dog lap down picks and Lap Traffic Fantasy at the end there. So let's keep things rolling. Let's get Jack Wood from GMS on the line. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me on the line, making his first appearance on the show. He is the driver, the number 24 Chevy with GMS. Welcome to the Lap Traffic Podcast, Jack Wood. Jack, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm awesome, man. It's podcast day. It's always a good day, man. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on. I had Grant Enfinger on last week, who's been on the show many a time. So happy to keep the GMS train going this week with you and to get to hear about your story a little bit. But before we do that, big question: how are your brackets going, man? Did you fill one out, and how busted is it?
I hate to say, I think I did. I think I was like last minute. I did autofill, and yeah, I think I'm out. I think I had Baylor picked to win it all, so I'm out.
Fair enough. Oh, man. All right. Well, listen, like I said, I had Grant on last week. Excited to have you on this week. You had a great run in Atlanta this past weekend. But before we get to that, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your racing background.
Yeah. So I'm 21. I'm originally from Northern California. I grew up racing goat karts and legend cars and late models, all in Northern California. Did a little bit of ARCA stuff out of our own family shop in Loomis, which is where I'm from in California. And then November 2020, signed my first contract with GMS and Chevrolet and moved out to Charlotte, North Carolina. And ever since then, kind of been pursuing the this truck series, national series in NASCAR, and yeah, so racing has always been a big part of my life. I ski raced for a while when I was younger in California growing up, and always had an itch to keep getting back in the seat. So I'm super blessed and lucky to have this opportunity to come out here and race for a good team like GMS, and yeah, so I'm enjoying it.
That's awesome. So you ran Legends in California. Atlanta has a very big Legends program. Did you stick around to watch them run Saturday night around the bull ring there?
I did not. No, sadly, I didn't. The way that the team planes work, they basically load and go. So once everyone's on the plane, those guys take off. And, I didn't have any time to stick around and watch those guys. Fair enough.
All right. So you mentioned, 2020, signed with GMS. Can you share a little bit how that all came together? What, who called who, how that alliance all came to be?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was working, when I was driving out on the West Coast with our own family team, I was looking to have somebody come on and driver coach me. And we found Ryan Reed, who raced in the Xfinity Series with Roush for a long time. And so he was flying out to all the races on the West Coast for all the ARCA stuff and a little bit of Southwest Tour racing as well. And, about halfway through the season, I think, we kind of realized it was time to make a change, time to go take a chance at the big dogs. And, Ryan started making calls to different teams, and, GMS was one of them on the list. And, I think things just lined up the right way. We were able to, secure a deal with them and sign the contract. And then I left my hometown and came all the way out to the East Coast. So
that's awesome. That's so cool. Talk a little bit about your sponsors. You had a cool one this week with Chevy Truck Month on there, but who else are we going to see on the 24 this season?
Yeah, so it's the Chevy Truck Month thing is really exciting. Me being a Chevrolet back driver, we're able to take the truck and the paint scheme and promote the different things that Chevrolet would like to throughout the year. So March is Chevy Truck Month, Chevrolet's annual truck month, to kind of just promote all the new exciting things that are coming out for trucks. So that was a lot of fun for us to run this year. We had Make an Impact Foundation on the truck at Daytona, which was exciting as well, which is a really cool foundation here in the Charlotte, North Carolina region that builds parks for underprivileged neighborhoods, which is something that I thought was really cool. There's some more exciting partnerships that are going to be on the truck here later in the year, but some really good stuff coming on the pipeline. As I'm sure racing is so money dependent, right?
Oh,
so it's really important to get good sponsors behind you to build the right relationships, because when there's no money, there's no racing, right? So you gotta do your best you can to secure the right sponsorships and right people. But I'm super lucky to be with Chevrolet and the support that they've given me over the last year. And give me the ability to get behind the wheel of these trucks and go see what I got.
That's awesome. All right, man, let's talk about this weekend. So this was your first trip to Atlanta. So you didn't get to race the old configuration, the old track that had so much character and all that. But, what did you think of the new track?
Yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed it. Going into it and talking to a lot of different drivers, I think a lot of people probably weren't super excited about the repave, right? I think, Atlanta was one of the drivers' favorite tracks just because of how worn out and difficult the old surface was. But, I was really, really pleasantly surprised with how the track raced. And, they did turn it into a super speedway, but I feel like it was still a different animal than going to a Daytona or Talladega. So, I really enjoyed the track. I thought it was a good place to race. Honestly, I'm kind of bummed the Truck Series is only going there once this year, but it was a good race for us. I think we would have liked to finish higher than where we did, but we were able to battle back from 2 laps down and to be able to fight back into the top 15 and finish right behind our teammate. I think that was was a good momentum builder for the 2014.
Absolutely. So let's, if you don't mind going into that a little bit deeper, you guys started 22nd, you finished 13th, like you said, into the top 15 there. Walk everyone through what happened to get 2 laps down and, keeping that determination and getting back up in there. So run us through that one.
Yeah. So we said, like you said, we started 22nd. With qualifying going away, they went to NASCAR has their metrics that they use to determine starting position. And after my 2 wreck outs at Daytona and Vegas, which I'm not too proud of, that put us starting pretty deep in the field. And I think by 10, 15 laps into the race, I was in the top 10, and then got shuffled out of line and fell back a little bit, but still running inside the top 15 most of the day. At the end of stage 1, put left side tires on, and then had a right rear tire going down, so I had to come to pit road, which put us those 2 laps down, and then kind of the rest of the day just trying to use race strategy and race as smart as I could to get ourselves back on the lead lap. And luckily there was enough cautions to allow me to do that. Then once that happened, me and the 23 truck were able to get hooked up and kind of make some ground up. But days like that when you go laps down are super, super long days because you're just constantly racing against the clock, right? You only have so much time to get back on the lead lap, and you're just hoping for cautions and trying to race other lap down trucks and position yourself in the right place to where you can get back on that lead lap. And we were able to do that. So I think it was a really good day for us. I think you look at Daytona and Vegas, which both were wreck outs, which is tough to build off of and tough to have any momentum going into the following race. So I think finishing 13th there is all, even though it wasn't a great finish, it was still a really big learning day for the 24 team. And I think the more time that I spend with these guys, the more races we get under our belt, I think the better off we're going to get. And I think the same thing goes for the 23 team as well. So I think we're definitely starting to hit our stride, and that just makes me more excited for the rest of the season.
That's awesome, man. I love it. Well, speaking of the rest of the season, this weekend, you guys are headed to COTA. What's your road course background like? Are you excited for this? How are you getting ready for it? Are you nervous? What do you think going to COTA this weekend?
Yeah, I'm super excited to go to COTA, actually. COTA last year was my first truck race, which was definitely throwing me to the wolves right away. With the weather changing and all that kind of stuff. So that was a tough animal to try to wrestle last year. But I've been putting in a lot of time on road course racing, and I've been running Trans Am cars throughout the off season and towards a little bit last year. So I've been doing a lot of road course stuff there. Been spend as much time as I can on the Chevy Sim, iRacing, all that kind of stuff, trying to get myself as prepared as I can going into COTA. But honestly, last year I did not like road course racing. I wasn't too excited about going to Watkins Glen and COTA. But this year I'm super excited. I think that I've definitely found some stuff. I think my road course racing skill set has grown over the last 12 months, and I'm excited to go give it another shot. But I think we'll have a good run there.
That's awesome, man. I love it. All right, Jack, where can everybody follow you and keep up with you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm driver Jack Wood across all platforms. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Sadly, I'm not on TikTok, but Instagram and Twitter are both driver Jack Wood.
I love it. I created a Twitter account, a TikTok account for the podcast, and I think I've got like a handful of videos. Like, I don't mind watching them, but man, to put that stuff together, it takes a minute and some creativity that I just haven't found the stride yet for that.
I know. I'm the same way. I think, there's TikTok is blowing up, right? So I think it's a good place it's a good platform to be on for social media. But like you said, it's a whole different animal than Instagram or Twitter. So
absolutely.
I haven't made that leap of faith yet, but hopefully I do shortly.
I love it. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, huge thanks to Jack Wood for calling into the show. Jack, it was great to have you on for the first time. Look forward to catching up with you down the road. Best of luck this weekend and the rest of 2022, man.
All righty, sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate your time today. Absolutely.
Take care. We'll see you. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, there you have Jack Wood from GMS. Can't wait to follow his career and see how that develops in the truck series and where else things might take him, for sure. All right. Jack talked a little bit about Atlanta and his run this past weekend. Grant talked about it last week, that this is probably going to run like a super speedway. The question was just how much like a super speedway. And now that the weekend is over, we can answer that question. And that answer is a lot. So that is a matter of opinion, right? Whether you like super speedway racing or you don't like super speedway racing. A lot of you guys, have been listening to the show. You guys know my stance on that, which is I'm not the biggest fan of super speedway racing. I wouldn't mind it if we could avoid the wrecks. You're going to have those, right? Whether it's at Kansas, Dover, wherever. Accidents it's racing. It's going to happen. If somebody has a single car accident because they messed up and it doesn't impact anyone else's race, that's obviously the most preferred. Hey, you messed up. It happened to you and everyone else moves on and you come back next week. If you have wrecks because you've got 2-3 guys for the lead, beating and banging off of each other at Bristol, Martinsville, Watkins Glen, whatever the case may be, that's battling for the win. And that's that racing that everybody talks about that we want. If you're at Talladega, Daytona, now possibly Atlanta, and, you get caught up in one just because of the product of, people going too fast, too soon. Again, you can argue that's the same thing that happens in either the single car or the short track road courses that, hey, that's just racing. And it is, that's a style of racing that NASCAR has. And there are some people that like it and there are some people that don't like it. I'm not a fan, especially knowing what Atlanta gave us the last few years. I knew the repave was going to impact things, and the track reconfiguration and the package that they brought to Atlanta gave us super speedway racing. Not as bad with as catastrophic as the big ones are at Daytona, Talladega. Some pretty close, a lot of 2 and 3 cars. I think I tweeted out there, hey, what's better, 15 to 3, 4 car wrecks, or, 1 or 2 15 to 20 car wrecks, and it just, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens when we go back to Atlanta. Now that it'll be the second time there with the car, second time with the track, tires, can they figure it out a little bit? Either way though, you get pack racing. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get those types of wrecks. We saw that throughout all 3 series because wasn't just, specific to Cup in what we got, So Xfinity cars haven't changed. Trucks haven't changed, So can we get something different out of the Cups series that we didn't get out of the truck and Xfinity? Probably not, So that's just is what it is, unless they drastically change, the package and what they bring. That's what we're going to get now at Atlanta, I think. And hey, we'll see. Big test will be, do people show back up in the stands when they go back there? That'll be a big story. And they might this year because maybe they bought, extra, a season ticket package thing or something. But years to come, we'll see what happens there. All right, Truck Series real quick. Rookie Corey Heim picking up the win, getting it done. The one thing that I've always said with this style of racing at your Daytonas, Talladegas, this past weekend in Atlanta, even some of the road course races, depending on how those finish out, is, you can go to, Texas and, under traditional, we'd say, oh, Kevin Harvick's going to be great. Martin Truex is going to be, who and what manufacturer and what team are going to do well. That is the one perk of Daytona, Talladega, and that style of racing is that, hey, if you're there at the end, it gives the opportunity for people to go out there and possibly get a win that wouldn't ordinarily do it. We've seen it time and time again with Daytona 500 winners. We've seen it in the Truck Series. We've seen it in the Xfinity Series. And that's a good story, right? Especially if it's an underdog, if you will, that's able to go out there and pick up a win. Helps them from a career perspective, helps the team, all those things, right? So from that regard, I don't hate those storylines. I enjoy them, Corey Haim, maybe one of those. In the Xfinity series, you had Austin Hill, who picked up the win at Daytona. His rookie year in the Xfinity series, almost picked up another one at Atlanta this weekend. You had Ross Chastain, Kurt Busch, Daniel Suarez, Corey LaJoie. Those were your top five. Those are some top five names that we might hear about at Daytona, Talladega. So it's all based on taking advantage of that opportunity that's presented. Can you take advantage of the ability to finish up there in a top 5, top 10, possibly even a win, because other people have wrecked, taken themselves out, and go out there and make a name for yourself, So if you like that aspect of it, I can get behind that, and the wrecks and all that. I mean, this was not the best racing, in my opinion, that we've had so far this season. It's a bummer. But like I said at the start of the show, I'm keeping that buzz going for myself, on the fact that we got 5 different winners through 5 races, and we're going to COTA this weekend. And that was a little bit of a cluster bleep last year, but I think it's going to be fantastic this year. I'm very excited for it. And I think, we'll forget about Atlanta real quick, and we'll just go from there. All right. That's what I got for you there, guys. What do you say? How about we do a little Lap Traffic social media? Everybody, make sure you check out the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, Facebook Lap Traffic Podcast, YouTube, The Lap Traffic Podcast, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Lap Traffic PC. If you've made it this far into the show, go leave a review on whatever platform you are listening to. Go tell your friends, all that good stuff. And don't forget about the giveaway. Creeping closer and closer. Since the start of the season, you guys have embraced the retweets and trying to get us to 6,000 followers, which we're almost there. About 185 to go, creeping down there, and can't wait to give away a 124 Chase Elliott Phoenix Championship diecast race win, as well as a piece of sheet metal from Kevin Harvick. So go tell your friends to follow, and let's get 185 more and give this thing away. Speaking of followers, got some new follower shout outs. Travis at Travis_Leash21, a Patriots fan and a Kevin Harvick fan. I mean, we might have just become best friends. That's all I have to say. Jared at Jared706, NASCAR and Kevin Harvick fan. P. Harper at Let88 Bowman and a Red Sox fan. How excited are you? Baseball going to be back. I can't wait. And Good Pods at Good Pods HQ, a podcast app, marketing, all that kind of stuff. Definitely cool to see some new entrepreneurship type social media things going on from a podcast perspective. So that's cool. Awesome. Don't forget about the store. Get your Lap Traffic t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, all that good stuff. And of course, I've got free stickers and koozies for anybody. All you got to do is live in the United States, because trying to ship to Canada and all that has become problematic as of late. But if you're in the U.S., I will happily mail you stickers and a koozie. All you got to do is fill out the contact page on the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, and I will send that out to you for free, no questions asked. So there you have it. Okay, let's keep plugging along. Here is where you might want to fast forward a minute or two, because Aaron Studwell will be on, and we're going to talk Atlanta a little deeper. We're going to talk the weather for COTA, but yes, we're going to mix in a little college basketball talk. So if that ain't your thing, no worries. I can't tell you how long to fast forward because we haven't recorded yet, but jump ahead a little bit if you want. And here we go. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me on the line after a slight delay on my part. You can follow him on Twitter at RaceWeather, along with Brian Newdorf at NASCAR_WXMAN. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Aaron Studwell. Sir, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm doing well, and yourself?
I am better now that tech is on my side. So we'll break the fourth wall, if you will. So It is at this present time 7:28 p.m. Eastern time, and Aaron and I were supposed to record at 5:30, and here we are. All of a sudden, the mixer and the program just stopped responding after I recorded the first half of the show this afternoon, and just decided to stop. So it was a matter of uninstalling two different programs that talk to each other, driver updates, and lo and behold, knock on wood, here we are, and we're ready to go. So,
and I'm hoping this is the last time you need to do that. And maybe what is your sixth year?
Yeah, 6th year. It happens at least once or twice a year. So,
glad I'm not on the receiving end of that.
Yeah,
it really becomes random.
That's the thing. It is so random. But hey, most of the time this thing works. Sound quality's good. It's just one of those blips, and with the day today was, I'm not surprised. So
no, it does stuff. The universe does tend to work that way.
Yep.
And you little blips all of a sudden become a big blip, and you're like, what happened today?
Right.
And
yeah.
you're
Yes.
about 10 o'clock, you're sitting there like just kind of looking around.
Yep.
Baby's asleep, and you're staring at a blank wall, wondering
Yes.
what the happened.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny you mentioned, like the baby, like I am a big person. Like, I burn the candle both ends from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I really have a hard time relaxing and just chilling unless there's a sporting game on. And that's
right.
because that's so, attention grabber. I have a hard time watching TV shows. I'm a creature of habit with the ones that I do. And it's like, once Alden goes to bed, once Lindsay's chilling, I want to just decompress, scroll through social media, TikTok scroll, whatever, because that's a deep dive,
Yep.
And then it's like, now I've lost an hour because I've done that, and now the kid's about to wake back up, and it's like, I don't possess the innate ability to just shut myself off and hit the pillow and go to bed like my wife can do, and I'm very jealous of that aspect, that she can just, be asleep before her head hits the pillow. But yeah, though that's the big adjustment for me there. But anyways,
congratulations.
Thank
This
you.
is month 1 of 18 years.
Yeah, right. Yes, month 1 in the books. We took him. He had his 1 month checkup yesterday. He's put on 2 pounds, and
So I think that's what I've done in the last month too.
I've done that in the last week, I think. Oh man! All right, couple things to talk about here. I mentioned at the start of the show that we were going to do a deep dive into college basketball because
good, you warned them.
I did warn them. I did. And right before your intro music clicked, I said, you might want to fast forward, but I've got no idea how far to fast forward because we hadn't recorded it yet. So that's the problem there. But so a couple weeks ago, you and I were talking, and it was like, Michigan, they had that great game against Ohio State, but lost a couple beforehand. Broadcast this Saturday, Michigan hadn't won consecutive games since early February, and just couldn't seem to get on that roll. Me and my buddy Zaylen, who everyone's heard me talk about once in a while, talked about Dickerson and just how he seemed to maybe be phoning it in this year a little bit. And here we are now talking about Michigan in the Sweet 16. Where are you at?
Oh, it's funny because you texted me because I was watching the Atlanta Xfinity race because I had Landon
Yes.
with his first top 5,
Which is
and I
awesome.
looked this one up, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is his first top 5 since 2011," and I actually went back and looked, and I haven't mentioned to him, it was his first top 5 in Xfinity since 2011. 2014, he had a 4th place finish at Talladega in Cup.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which I thought was interesting. It makes sense, especially at Talladega. So you're asking me what I thought about the game. I'm like, I didn't watch it because this whole win one, lose one, win one, lose one is okay. And then they're playing Tennessee. I'd watched them play a bit this year. Michigan. I'm finally bought in again.
Right.
I think after everything that happened with the Wisconsin game, I'm just like, I'm checking out. I'll check it out but I'm like, it just lost my interest with the whole Howard thing and his behavior.
Yeah.
And then just kind of getting pushed out of the Big Ten tourney so quickly.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll be tuned in Thursday night.
So, all right, I'm glad you brought up Howard. Let me ask you this. Did Howard redeem himself by hugging and consoling the Tennessee player?
No.
No? Okay. All right.
No.
I could go either way. I mean, I don't think he did that. I by no means think that was a PR stunt there. I just think the camera happened to be there at the right place, right time, and see that. I think that happens regardless. I thought it was a beautiful moment, to be honest with you. I loved it.
And I'm not saying it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
But does it make up for his behavior in how he's acted, and it wasn't just that one incident?
Sure.
Does it make him a good guy? Yeah, he's kind of erased one of those negative tick marks.
Right. He's
kind of put a little things back in balance. And, it depends on how it could very easily go back out of balance if he throws a tantrum.
Another haymaker.
Yeah. I don't even say haymaker. I'd say tantrum.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like a call and gets keyed up, Is
he trying to be Harbaugh without being Harbaugh?
No, that's an interesting question. My first instinct was no. I think he may be – I don't think he's trying to be Harbaugh. I think he's trying to be himself, but he also knows – he looks over and may see that Jim has a little bit free release.
Okay.
And that he's trying to see how far he can go.
Get his. Okay.
But
I mean, those are two very top, charismatic, opinionated – big ego guys, running two, different high class programs that are both still struggling, I think, to find identity as a program. And I think that plays a little bit of a role there.
Yeah. And he's trying to, even with the game being over, I think there's a little bit of, I'm trying to fire my guys up and show that I have emotion too.
Yeah.
But then I go back, wasn't it Harbaugh who shook the Detroit Lions coach's hand and then didn't let go because he wanted to continue the discussion?
Yeah, so that was Schwartz Harbaugh Thanksgiving Day game back at Ford Field, and I distinctly remember that because I was there.
Yeah, and so you've got two good analogies there too, although one being pro and one being college, and you have a different mission, pros to win, colleges to win, but you're also trying to shape the minds and attitudes of young men and women.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I feel you. All right. Now let's talk about, Michigan's in the Sweet 16 playing Villanova, who I believe that's the team we lost to in the last time we actually made it to the national championship game.
That is correct. And that was the last time we played them, 2018.
Yes. Okay. So obviously Villanova, 2 seed, top caliber talent there. If we are to say that, Michigan is going to lose this game, does the Sweet 16 appearance make up for the lackluster season that we had?
Yes.
Does that help recruiting?
I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes.
Because that's always my thing. It's like, all right, all of these young kids, they it's all for me anyways. I think they're looking from the national spotlight, national perspective, wanting to get the attention, wanting to, obviously, hey, who wouldn't want to get the payday in the pros, So it's like, Michigan coming off a phenomenal 2021 or 2020, 2021 and a mediocre 2021, 2022. Does that turn some commits away possibly? And, so I'm always looking to the future in terms of, all right, are we going to get to, a consistent Elite Eight Final Four appearance team, consistent Big Ten champ team. Like that's where I'm at, and I'm torn on this. Because I didn't think we were getting there. I think it's awesome. For me, it's like, I'm kind of forgetting about the regular season. I'm like, we're Sweet 16. That's the big deal there.
And you're right. I think it's just what matters now.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have loved to won the Big Ten championship, win the Big Ten tournament. Okay, that's behind us. They've won 2 games, which, I didn't expect them to beat Tennessee, honestly.
No.
I was surprised. And now you're in a place where I want to guess there are at least 330 D1 schools in men's basketball.
Yeah.
You have 314 teams that didn't get as far as you are now.
Yeah.
You're playing on national television. You're playing on a national stage, which every college recruit wants to do. And now you're showing you can consistently do it.
Sure.
Now, what happens Thursday night? Villanova's 5-point favorites.
I think that's low, to be honest. I was
7.5.
I was thinking more. I didn't think they'd put them at double digits, but I was expecting to see 9.5.
Not the predictions, the simulations I've seen has it between 6 and 6.5. And then, so you open the line at 6.5, and then you're just going to, honestly, we've talked about this during football season, you're going to have Michigan money coming in.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Betting Michigan to cover. So now they're just going to move the spread to keep the money even.
Yeah. Nope. 100%.
And I think it was -2, either -210 or -270 for Villanova.
Money line. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, good times. I mean, we've seen the upsets happen. Go talk to Kentucky.
Well, you got a very strong. Yeah, I know. I watched that game.
Yeah,
that you have a very strong St. Peter's team, and I'm not here to talk about St. Peter's and the Peacocks.
Yeah,
but it's hard to ignore them. And then there's another 11 seed hanging out there.
I do have it pulled up here. Let's see. Notre Dame lost. What else we got? Michigan's the 11. Iowa State.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
They played it good. It's funny because I watched a lot of the tournament, but then when it was opposite racing, I'm like, it's kind of Overwatch racing over here.
Well, and so if I'm looking at it, Michigan came in in an 11 seed. We talked about the possibility of them not making the tournament. Here they are, Sweet 16 as an 11 seed. If I'm an 11 seed Michigan playing Villanova, or I'm a 15 seed St. Peter's playing Purdue, Michigan's got the biggest chance to make the most noise as an 11 seed throughout the rest of this tournament, because Michigan's been there before. They lost some games. They win a few more. They're in there at a higher seed. St. Peter's, they weren't going to get the possibility of a 3 seed or a 2 seed. Michigan's been there. So I would say that Michigan may have the advantage here to be the one to get something done potentially as an 11 seed.
I would agree with that. Iowa State too. But they turned it around so much. But just back to Michigan basketball, I agree with that 100%. The position they can't leave themselves in is like they have during the first 2 games. They can't be down big at the half.
No.
They are not going to come back against Villanova.
Yes.
And have a second half run that is going to be capable of it.
Right. No, I'm with you there.
But Villanova plays a lot like Tennessee. They want to slow it down. They're good from 3 unchallenged. So if Michigan can get in their kind of run and gun, even if they're shooting threes, I think they can keep this close.
I love it. Well, we will find out Thursday, and we will reconvene here same time, same place, couple weeks, hopefully with working equipment.
Well, it's working now.
Yes,
that's all you can ask
now.
for.
Yes. All right. NASCAR. What'd you think about Atlanta?
Man, I hate to say it. I want to go.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was phenomenal. Okay, 500 miles
Yeah.
was a little much.
Yes.
You could do 400. I've even seen the suggestion that you can keep it the Folds of Honor quick trip 500 and then do like Phoenix does, and it's 500 kilometers, so
Sure.
300 miles.
Yeah.
Or 312. So I enjoyed the racing. I thought it was exciting. I thought you now have a super speedway at a mile and a half. Thank you, SMI.
All right. So here's my thing. All right. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a minute. So I loved the racing we had in Atlanta. I thought the racing, even though everyone hated the package and all of that, over the last couple of years, the racing was still pretty good. We need that track to obviously build in a little bit of character from a track and wear perspective.
Right.
I'd like to see what changes NASCAR maybe makes, even not this year. Do they maybe lower the spoiler next year? Do they maybe make some adjustments? I guess my question is, do I need a Talladega? And, we have 4 of those races. Do I need a 5th and 6th at Atlanta to where it's, did I get caught up in one when I wasn't doing anything wrong? And I understand that's a product of racing, and I understand short track racing is racing, but do we need to add more of those types of races when we'd rather be watching short track and road course races?
And you make a good point, and I'm going to say, what does the fan want to see? What do the people in the stands and the 3 million people who tuned in this past week want to see? Carnage is a horrible word. They want to see the big one.
Yep.
Even if the big ones.
Yep.
Plural. And you talk about short tracks with I was going to say LA, with Fontana Auto Club not going to do the reconfiguration now.
Yep.
I'm just not enamored with, maybe you only need one race then at
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Thank you.
Yep.
And you know what? You want to keep it regional? Take it down to Road Atlanta.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be cool.
People want road courses.
Yeah.
You have one race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You have one race at Road Atlanta, and that is just a phenomenal track. The racing's great there, but it doesn't answer your question. Do they change? The only thing I would say, if I'm NASCAR, or really now if I'm Goodyear, the only thing I'm changing is what my minimum tire pressure is to go out.
Sure. Yep.
And maybe play with the camber numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that was the big problem we had. We didn't have those rear diffuser issues. It was just people blowing out tires, and it was from abusing the tires. It wasn't. It was either too much camber or too low of air pressure, and they're just abusing the hell out of those right rears.
Yep. Well, and so I don't know. I'm going strictly eyeball test here. I don't know what the seating capacity of Fontana is, and I don't know what the seating capacity of Atlanta is. But I know a hell of a lot of people showed up to Fontana that weren't there a few years ago. Granted, I know they missed a year, so it may have been hey, we weren't able to go, I'm going kind of thing. And I saw what appeared to be a lot more of an emptier grandstand at Atlanta than I saw at Fontana. And we're talking, closer to home base, if you will, at a reconfigured track, and I'm just like, man, I would have thought Atlanta would have, been boasting sellouts that they didn't based on everything. And I just want, I wonder, I'm going to leave it at that. I just wonder what's going to happen there.
I'm not going to leave it at that. I'll join in here.
Yes.
Okay. So Fontana, I would say their attendance was helped by the clash at the Coliseum.
Okay. Yeah.
People who are local said, oh my God, what a spectacle this is. And even though it's different racing, even though what I saw at the Clash wasn't what I was going to see at Auto Club, I still wanted to go see NASCAR.
Yes. I love that.
And with Atlanta, now that they're back to 2 races, if you just give them one,
maybe. Okay. Fair.
You may see a fuller, but it still goes to the point. But where are we at now? Where we're at now is we're moderate attendance.
Yeah.
at what was really a beautiful weekend.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Except for Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, but you couldn't dial in a better weather weekend than you
Yep.
saw Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
And you would have wanted I'm not sure how, having never lived in Atlanta, visited a lot but never lived there.
Yep.
Do people say, hey, I don't want to drive all the way down to Peachtree City? It's 30 miles out of town.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm curious to see if they can, they could remove the pack racing aspect out by changing the package that they bring. And for me, I personally would rather see that, and that's just me. And I say that knowing, man, we got a great race at Fontana with the new car, with the new granted, yes, there were a lot of single car spins coming out of 4, but you can make individual adjustments to fix that. And we had great racing, so that's where I'd rather see what we could have had naturally, I guess, if I'm going to use that word correctly, at Atlanta versus having, Daytona Junior.
I just matter what do the fans want?
Yeah.
If the fans want the pack racing and you want to see, and I'm singling him out because it was quite an accomplishment. Corey LaJoy come in, he was he crossed the line 5th, but with Bell having to drop back, he had a 4th place finish. Yep. I think it's good for the sport.
Well, and listen, I am the first to say that if viewership's there, and if sponsors are there, and whatever, if the sport wants it, I'm all about it. I will embrace it at that point, because I want the sport to thrive. I don't want to see NASCAR, go anywhere, So from that, not that it would or anything like that, but I'm just saying, if that's what they want, I'll talk about it. You know what I mean? So of
course. So that's why that's why it's taking up some, and it's not a negative. Yeah. That's why it's taken up a good bit of time on this segment. Yep. Is we're sitting here. How can we make the sport better? We embrace the sport. Yep. And do we want to? Maybe you're right. Maybe they say, okay, we're going to come back. The one thing I did miss, and I think it is a byproduct of the next gen car, and they showed, I can't remember who it was trying to side draft, and there's just no side drafting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, there was you did not have that slingshot, and you didn't have the push just didn't seem, you had the bump draft, but it wasn't your full bump draft. That's why I've got to call it the junior. Like it was almost there.
Well, yeah, true. But what's the difference is there, and they pointed out that it's a bit of a configuration thing there, because if you don't have, you're coming through that straight on the quad oval, you really have much shorter place, except for on the back straight. You don't have a lot of places then you can bump draft.
Right. Yes. Oh, man. You know what? I guess I've talked myself into with you here now being excited to see what happens when we go back. So. Oh yeah, and I hope it doesn't. I hope it does help their attendance numbers. I hope people say, absolutely, hey, that was such a great race in March. Let's go back in July. Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go back in July and sweat our nuts off.
Yeah, I know. I was like, hey, it's the sauna 400.
July in Atlanta. July in Atlanta is like August in Michigan.
Yep. I think the mosquitoes may be bigger up there for y'all.
I love it. All right. Well, we are going, and you physically are going to COTA this weekend. When are you getting in? What are you doing? And what's the weather going to be like?
I get in Friday afternoon. I've had a hotel there for a bit because I knew this deal was likely going to close, and that's probably the easiest thing to cancel is the hotel.
Yep.
I get in around 4:20. I could not get a rental car at the airport.
Wow.
I am going to have to take a Lyft, Uber, or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
To a car rental place up by the Capitol, and then drive back to my hotel.
Wow. So then you're going to have to do the same thing to get back to the airport.
Right. But what the good thing about that is the car rental company I'm using, and I'm not going to give them a free plug here.
Fair enough.
They have a $25 shuttle, which will take you back to the airport. And I looked, and it's like from the point where they're at, it's $32, $33 for an Uber, and it's $25. So I'm like, okay, I can take an Uber or Lyft there and take the shuttle back. And then
if
I
it
go
was
back.
a free service, you'd be plugging them, but because it's
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's true. That's true. If you want to give me, or if I plugged them and they called me and say, "Hey, I'll get you on the shuttle for free,"
right,
then we'll do it.
I love it.
Yeah, but then the only thing I need to worry about is sunscreen.
Excellent.
It is going to be a beautiful weekend in Central Texas.
Love it. I love it.
Friday is actually going to a little bit of a cold front, not quite as dramatic as this last one was. If people go to my Twitter and see what I was retweeting last night, some of the night tornado pictures people were catching or capturing were amazing.
Awesome.
But we've got a cold front going through on Thursday. So Friday, sunny, northeast winds, kind of light, 38 in the morning. Burger, 38 in the morning for Central Texas, 77 for the high.
I mean, that's what I'm used to, but
Yeah. Saturday, sunny, northeast winds shifting to the south. It will be windy in the afternoon, so with higher gusts. 80 for the high, 47 for the low. Sunday, mostly sunny, southerly winds again, 15 to 20 miles an hour. And again, higher gusts, high of 82, low of 50. Odds of racing all 3 days, 95+%. Well, it's looking great.
Love it. Beautiful.
I'm excited.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I hope you have a great time, safe trip, and,
Plenty of pictures.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, Lap Traffic Nation, there you have it. Some basketball recap and future stuff all right there. So make sure you're following Aaron on Twitter at RaceWeather, along with Brian Neudorf at NASCAR_WXMAN. Sure. Great to catch up with you, and we will catch you in a couple weeks.
Yes, you will, and we'll be in touch.
Awesome, man. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, my friend.
Yep,
later.
We'll see you. All right, great to catch up with Aaron. Catch him again in a couple weeks. Right now, you guys know what time it is. It is time for this week's Lucky Dog and Lapdown Picks. You guys also know the drill. After race weekend, tweet your Lucky Dog Lapdown Picks. I will read them, tag you guys after the show, and we'll keep track of things and see where we're at the end of the year. All right, my lucky dog is the fans, and not because of the racing, but because of the fact that we have 5 different winners. I just love it. You guys, I've talked about it all show. My lap down, repave and reconfig. I would have loved to have seen this new car on the old track, old configuration, and really witness something pretty cool, I think, if we'd have been able to do that. But I digress. Didn't have it, and now it's on to your tweeted responses. Scott at 1985 Wagner, Lucky Dog William Byron avoids Wreckfest, played the lines perfect. A lap down is the bump drafting. Obviously, drivers still have a lot to learn in the new cars. And then post lap down addendum to Christopher Bell for passing below the line. Brian at Stormin B81. Lucky Dog, Corey LaJoy with a great top 5. Lap down, John Hunter Nemechek on Saturday, ruining what would have been a great finish, and a great finish for all of us Lap Traffic fantasy players that had him. We'll get to that in a minute. Chris at USMC_NASCAR Fire, Lucky Dog, Justin Haley, Corey LaJoy, Team BJ McLeod for their best finishes in Cup. Lap down, won't sugarcoat it. The race in general, hard to pass, boring, strung out, interrupted by brief, exciting moments. I hear ya. CJ LaPearl 24, Lucky Dog, the racing, not old Atlanta, but was never meant to be. Embrace it. See, CJ, I get that side of it. I do 100%. Lap down, Bubba got to make a move earlier to get to the lead. Honorable mention to Sheldon Creed being a wrecking ball on Saturday. I love it. All right, Eddie at Eddie_EG3, Lucky Dog. Corey Heim getting it done. First career Truck Series win, a lap down is to whoever was out front leading for Chevy with a tire issue at which time during the race. Chastain, Reddick, Stenhouse. Jason at JStone29, Lucky Dog the 24 for not having to race the 4 car on the last lap would have definitely been a cool finish. I see what you did there. The 24, William Byron, Kevin Harvick, the 4, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon. Yep, I'm with you all there. Lap down, my guy Kevin Harvick for getting caught in one of these cluster crashes. Hashtag for the Cup 2022. I know the magic isn't gone in that team yet. Follow up, the closer still found a way to finish on the lead lap. Like I said, doesn't always get to win, but closes the race with the best possible outcome every week. I hear you there. Jess at Iowa NASCAR fan, Lucky Dog Trackhouse has been on it to start the year. Their win is coming. Lap down, Denny Hamlin. His season has been awful. That it has. Colby at KG99, Lucky Dog Hendrick for a win, I guess. Lap down, whoever decided this package was a good idea and ruin a perfectly good track before you even know how it races. You can tie me and Usain Bolt together and I have a chance. That's not racing. That's called a gimmick. I hear you. I definitely hear you. Matt at Camper News Net, Lucky Dog, William Byron playing a perfect race, was able to get up there at the end to win. Additional Lucky Dog to AMS for the changes to this track and making this race very exciting. A lap down, these drivers need to still figure out bump drafting with these cars. Roger at ROJODI, Lucky Dog Trackhouse. They're getting wins this season. Lap down, my Atlanta 500 needs to be rethought. 12 hours of Atlanta, not good. Yeah, it got a little long there, didn't it? Yep, that it definitely did. Rowdy at the Rowdy Dragon, Lucky Dog NASCAR. They're getting what they wanted. Nobody knows who will win from week to week. A lap down, that spoiler seems to be spoiling. The leader stays with flat tires, all Chevys. I see what you did there, Rowdy. And last, Charlene M at SMAC715. Lucky Dog, U of M advancing to the Sweet 16. Lap down, MSU for losing a tough one. Oops, wrong sport. Didn't watch much of the race today. Thought I'd make you laugh. I love that. Because, as Aaron and I talked a little bit ago, did not expect Michigan to get to the Sweet 16. I feel you there. All right. That'll do it for this week's Lucky Dog and Lap Down picks. Up next, Fantasy, which normally closes it out, but don't forget, I got Christian Rose for you, which will be after Fantasy. Christian is going to close things out with us today. But right now, let's get into a little lap traffic fantasy. Just a reminder to get your picks in by 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Keep using the Twitter interaction, hashtag LTFantasy. We're not quite halfway through segment 1. I am definitely not giving up. It's close. You get on a 3-4 weekend stretch there, and you can definitely climb your way back up into top 15, 16. And don't forget, segment winners get an automatic bid for the playoffs. So when we reset segment 1 to segment 2, we'll still keep the cumulative points going for the overall standings and playoff seeding. But if you win segment 2, not only is it trophies and shirts and all that kind of good stuff, but it's an automatic bid. So don't lose hope on me yet. Keep setting your picks. Anything can happen. It's still early, still close. So keep them coming. That said, who would have thought? My picks last week were Kyle Busch, Daniel Hemrick, John Hunter Nemechek. Got me a whopping 40 points combined. Just abysmal. That said, top 10 who actually know how to pick. Tony Salt in the first place with 496. Justin Hughes in second with 475. Kevin Hahn in third with 468. Michael Mason in fourth with 455. Scott Boys in fifth with 452. Don James in sixth with 449. Henry Fletcher in seventh with 446. Joshua Neal in eighth with 435. Brad Carnes in nine with 431. And wrapping out the top 10, Jason Dickus with 429. So all close there. Bonus points, Kevin and Scott both with 4. Don and Jason with 3. And then Benton, Jumpy Bob, Brad Carnes, Brett Morris, Carson Hackman, David James, Eddie, Henry Fletcher, Josh Wolfe, Joshua Neal, Logan Cummings, Ray, and Ryan all have 2. And then there's even more with 1. So those bonus points will be very beneficial to you if you make the playoffs. So there is that. Unfortunately, was not able to line up a guest picker with me this week, so it's just me. So just don't do what I do, and you'll all be fine. So that said, we are heading to our first road course of 2022 and headed back to COTA for just the second time. All three series are on the docket this weekend. We have a few road course winners still looking for their first win of the season. Can Denny Hamlin or Martin Truex Jr., who are very solid on the road courses, pick up their first win? Chase Elliott picked up the win last year. He's still searching for his first win of the season. Have you used Chase Elliott, or were you saving him for this weekend? Kyle Larson has also let it be known that he can go out there and get it done on the road courses. Will he be our first driver to pick up win number 2 in the season? We'll find out this weekend, but first, it's time for my picks that will ultimately be garbage. So, over to the Truck Series. I'm riding with him till he gets the win, and that's John Hunter Nemechek. In the Xfinity Series, I'm going with the Dinger. I think he'll get it done. And then my cut pick, I did save Chase Elliott. So if you saved him too, you might not want to use him because I'm pulling the trigger. So there you have it. John Hunter Nemechek, AJ Allmendinger, Chase Elliott are my picks. So one of two things will happen. Either everybody will take them and I'll not make up any ground. Nobody will take them and they'll all wreck and I'll not make up any ground. So there's what we have there. So, all right. Normally that would be doing it, but no, it is not over yet, folks. I've got one more interview fuel for you, and that is Christian Rose. So let's talk to Kristen. All right, Let Traffic Nation, joining me on the line, making his first appearance on the Let Traffic podcast. He's baseball player turned driver, and the driver, the number 42 in the ARCA Menard series. Welcome to the show, Christian Rose. Christian, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing well. How are you guys doing? I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on. Excited to get to talk to you. And as we were talking before, the listeners love the ARCA drivers, the truck drivers. I had Jack Wood on earlier tonight, and we're going to close things out with you. Before we get into it, the real big and important question: how busted is your bracket?
Yeah, after St. Peter's made a run, that kind of killed it in the first, I'd say first round. So that was a pretty big dagger, I'd say.
Right. I'm a diehard Michigan fan, and I had them out. There's no way they're going to be Colorado State, and here they are in the Sweet 16. So yep.
They're rolling. I'm a WVU fan, and we're known for basketball with Coach Hugs and everything, and for us not to be in it this year crushed me. So. Yeah. A little sore.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, listen, let's start off with this, tell everyone a little bit about your journey. You played college basketball, baseball. Talk about that switch and how you got into racing and where you're at now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different story than most drivers. I'd say I didn't come from a racing family. Nobody really around me liked racing. We just happened to have a Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warrior remote control in the house one day. And when I was like 5 years old, and I picked that up and I started flipping through the channels. And this is back when NASCAR was like on TNT and everything. And I found one of the summer races on, and I grew to follow Jeff Gordon and then became a huge fan all the way through my life. So I played baseball my whole life. I had snuck into the garage at a younger age in Daytona, and I got to meet some of BJ McLeod's team members. And basically I asked them, like, how do I get in racing? This is me thinking, like, knowing a lot of Division I athletes, like, become pit crew members. Sure. or somewhere along those lines. So that's what I was thinking. They gave me BJ's number, and he was like, well, why don't you think about driving or something like that? So go home to mom, all excited. And she's like, you're going to finish school and get your college degree. and if baseball doesn't work out, we'll revisit it. So baseball career came to an end in college, and called BJ back up and got the opportunity to go down and test. And we weren't too far off. And from that point on, we've been racing since. So been a dream come true, and literally a story of fan to driver for me.
That's all right. So, I mean, that just sparked like 9 questions that I've got now. So I'm going to see if I can keep them in order. So it's funny that you mentioned, you thought, all right, college athletes, become pit crews. And it's funny you say that because a couple weeks ago, I actually had Brian Halland from Joe Gibbs Racing, who was a Division I hockey player turned pit crew guy, turned, now running the show at JGR. So when you say, you went down and tested, like, what had you gotten into beforehand to even know that you'd go strap into the car and test with BJ?
Yeah, the most I had been in my life before that was go-karts at the beach or something. Nothing crazy. So
no kidding.
No. So I hopped in a super late model for my first time, and Matt Tiff came out to shake the car down, and we ended up not being too far off his time. And they were pretty impressed. They asked me if I'd ever been in anything in my life before, and they really were shocked that I'd never been. So it's been once. I got on some cold tires, and I learned a lesson real quick on how cold tires need some heat in them before you get going, and learned that lesson right off the bat. Right. But outside of that, we were pretty fast. So
that's incredible. All right. So, BJ's been on the show. It's been a long time. He's probably way overdue to come back on. Matt and I have developed a pretty good relationship. I mean, Matt's incredible, so for you to get in, I mean, is that the Cinderella story maybe there to where, hey, I got in after Matt Tifton and wasn't too far off on the time there. That's remarkable. You don't hear about that too often, but that's for anyone that doesn't come from the racing background to where it's like, oh, I don't know anybody. I mean, you're the story for that.
Right. I appreciate that. And that's kind of the story, what we're trying to mold after. I knew who Matt was, and I was trying not to be a fan. At that point, he was giving me advice, and I was like, man, this is the guy that's fifth in the points right now in the Xfinity Series. So for that opportunity to be able to come out there and can't thank BG enough for allowing me to have the opportunity. Obviously, now we've moved on and we're racing for Bruce Cook, and to have the expertise of somebody like Bruce and everybody guiding me through my career has been instrumental and incredible. So I went from BJ. I raced for the Skinners down in Florida for a little while, and now I'm racing with Bruce Cook. So I've been around a lot of very well-rounded racers that have helped me build and mold my career going each step of the way. So very lucky and fortunate.
So what's the time frame from all of this? When did baseball, what year did baseball end to where you reach back out to BJ, to where you do some stuff with him down there to where we're at now in ARCA? What kind of time frame are we talking?
Summer of 2018 was the when baseball ended, or spring of 2018, and graduated college with my degree in hospitality management. I worked for Marriott for 3 months and realized that hospitality management was not for me. I like being on vacation and not seeing people be on vacation.
I love it.
Basically called BJ up after that. We were watching a Kansas summer race. I remember to a T in my apartment in Ocean City, Maryland. And we were watching it and told Mom I thought that was the chance and the opportunity I missed. And she was like, well, why don't you call and see if the opportunity is still there? And it was. And now it's been 3 years in this venture, and we were clicking some top 10s off in the ARCA series and pushing our way forward. So
tell the listeners, how many, did you run the ARCA East? How many ARCA races are under your belt?
Yeah, this is, I think this week was number 5. So we started out west last year. We ran top 10 in Vegas in our first start. We probably would have run 7th. I think we finished 10th. We probably should have run 7th. We got spun by a lap car, which was unfortunate, but that's just part of it. And then we go on to Roseville in our second race. And I think we truly had an opportunity to go win that race. PJ Pedroselli ended up winning the race, and we had passed him and driven away by a straightaway. My inexperience, I got killed on the restarts at the end, and that's just what it came down to, where PJ ended up winning that race. And then this year's been kind of a rough start for us. We got wrecked at New Smyrna, and then we've been trying to catch our breath ever since. So just part of the race, the roller coaster race, and ups and downs. But we're going to get that track right and point it straight here pretty soon. So
what's the schedule like the rest of the year? Are you got the full schedule? Are you part-time? What's the rest of 2022 look like?
Yeah. So we're going to run anywhere. We're running all over from the ARCA East to the West to the Premier Series. So we're all over the place, and hopefully there'll be some more stuff to announce towards the end of the year that we're working on that I can't say just yet, but sure. We're working on all 3 platforms of the ARCA series. We're going to be bouncing all over the place to hopefully get us ready to keep propelling us forward. So you're going to see us at the intermediate tracks. You're going to see us at, Michigan, Pocono, places like that this year, and then also staying on the short track circuit, keep getting experience and laps under me. Excellent.
Well, Michigan's my home track. I'm always out there, so we'll have to hook up for sure on Friday and do something there. So is this, while we're working on that, you're not at Marriott anymore, are you able to focus on this full time from that side of things?
Yeah, this is a full-time gig for me. I'm in the race shop, going up during the week to, talk to the guys, see what's going on. Bruce is always giving me advice and showing me things to help me be a better driver. West Virginia came on board for us. That's my sponsor, and I can't thank them enough. Having West Virginia, being from West Virginia, having the tourism department come on board is just truly a dream sponsor for me. I don't know many people that get represented by their own home states. So they've given me this opportunity and it allowed me to have this as a full-time job and hopefully build this into a career.
That's awesome. I was gonna mention that. I noticed that you had your home state as your sponsor from kind of like their promotional side of things for promoting tourism to the sport, and that's really cool. I think that's awesome that they're doing that. Michigan, they're Pure Michigan, which was our tourist promotion kind of thing, did a lot of stuff with the racetrack. I don't think they were ever on a car, but they definitely, were at the racetrack, which I think that's awesome because, when you think about racing, yes, you obviously get a lot of, local in-state, but I mean, your diehards are dragging them campers all over the place. And I think that's awesome to have the tourist side of the state aspect involved. And that's huge. Can you talk a little bit about how that sponsorship came to be? How were you guys able to put that deal together?
Yeah, we just kept plugging away at it. We kept asking and tried to present the opportunity and share that there is a huge opportunity in motorsports for the state to branch out and get all over the country versus just putting, you see a lot of states and a lot of people through the tourism brands put up billboards and stuff like that. And obviously they're successful in what they do with it. But I think the avenue of bringing NASCAR and showing what NASCAR does in the whole of how you said the diehard fans, people are attached to a brand and they'll follow that brand. It's studied upon NASCAR and everything else that, if fans are willing to go drink Coke more or something because they see it on a race car, to see it at the racetrack. So we're trying to show people how beautiful our state is. And, we have opportunities, and West Virginia being such an outdoor state with all the fans loving hunting, fishing, hiking, outdoor biking and stuff like that. We have all that to offer. So that was our big pitch to the state, and we just kept knocking on the door, and they decided, this is a good opportunity to branch out and do this for us. So I think it's a win-win on both sides. It allows us to race the car, but it also allows us to promote how beautiful our state is and bring people into it. That's
awesome. That's fantastic. All right. Talk a little bit about, the alliance with Bruce and how that came to be, switching from BJ, who obviously has a, bigger presence from the Xfinity Cup side of things. What made this the right fit?
Yeah, for me, working with Bruce is a racer at heart. I mean, Bruce will... I don't even know really how to word it the best way. That you can go through the list of drivers that he's brought up through the series, and you can look at Zane Smith and a host of names, Austin Hill, people he's had in shop, and then my teammate at Phoenix was Josh Berry. So Bruce is always bringing in notable names into the sport and has helped them build their careers. Bruce has been very has allowed me to have the opportunity to work with him, which is I'm very fortunate to have, of hopefully continuing along that path and all that. So it's been a very good fit for us. Bruce gives me a great car, great equipment, and it leaves it up to me. And he's very vocal about, it's your job. You gotta, he shows me what I do right, shows me what I do wrong. And then we sit down on Mondays and everything after and try to coordinate what we can do to be better in all aspects. And that's what I love about Bruce is if anybody's ever been around Bruce or know Bruce, he's always thinking about what it takes to make the race car faster, what we can do to make it go faster. So that's just a huge part of me wanting to be in that shop. And we've been there for 2 years now.
That's great. Okay, so when are the fans going to see you next on the track? What's the next one on the schedule?
Yeah, Dover's our next one. So a couple of weeks, we're having a little bit of a break here. Hopefully we might get in a late model sometime in between now and then, but Dover's going to be our next one on the ARCA series. So I'm looking very much forward to that because that's an hour away from where I play college baseball. So
awesome. Oh, that's all right. Well, all right. And let's wrap it out with a little baseball talk here. All right. What position did you play? Give me your take on the whole lockout thing, because I'm sure, that probably hit close for you. So, give us a little bit more about your baseball side of things there.
Yeah, I was a college pitcher, so I was a submarine pitcher. So for anybody listening that doesn't understand what a submarine pitcher is, I basically throw the baseball from the ground. My knuckles would scrape the dirt coming through. So wow. I would come out of bullpen. I led the team in appearances my senior year. I miss it. My arm doesn't miss it. I'll say that. My body just can't do it anymore. I did it for 23 years actually. So my body just couldn't do it anymore. But as for the lockout, I was like, let's get a deal done. Right? I'm a baseball fan. I'm wearing an Orioles shirt right now.
Yes.
The problem is I'm a diehard Baltimore fan. I picked the wrong teams. I'm a diehard Washington Commanders fan. and the Ravens have won Super Bowls in my lifetime. I'm a diehard Orioles fan, and the Nationals have won World Series in my lifetime. So I picked the wrong teams, I guess. Growing
Detroit,
up,
man, Lions, Tigers. I mean, do I need to say any more there?
I'm with you. So I'm looking for brighter days on my teams on the sports, but NASCAR I didn't miss. I picked Jeff Gordon. I picked Kyle Larson as people to pull for. So I didn't miss there, but the other side has been rough. So for the lockout, baseball's trying to implement some rules now that are different, and I think it's anything you see, like NASCAR always changes and tries to push forward the future, and so does every other sport. So baseball's trying to put in, rules that some fans may like and don't like replay something they've talked about. And it's been, we use it, but we don't use it for everything in baseball. And then the pitching clock on 30 seconds or whatever it might be, that I agree with that, because I've seen pitchers sit there and hold the baseball for way too long and try to slow the game down too much. And I understand, let's speed it up, because fans are always saying it takes too long to watch a baseball game, and I understand that. Well,
and it's funny you say that, because on Twitter, I see it all the time. I've had conversations with fans and all of that. Same thing about the races. Are the races too long? Should we, should we only have some staple races at 500 miles? Daytona, the Coke 600, Southern 500, and should everything else be 400? We saw last year during COVID, where we were breaking it up just to get all 36 in, and we're running 300-mile races, but doing 2 of them. There are definitely. I get from the NASCAR side of things to where, listen, tracks aren't local to a lot of metropolitan areas. So you kind of want to give everybody that comes out the most bang for your buck. But I think there's something to be said about finding that sweet spot as NASCAR continues to evolve. So
yeah, that's what all sports do. And that's why when I see some of the fans that criticize NASCAR in certain places, and it's not just NASCAR. NASCAR does changes, baseball does, football. That's one beauty of me, I guess, playing in baseball and seeing changes come from the baseball side, is that there's changes constantly happening in every sport and avenue. So it's just trying to keep up with what fans want and everything else. So I love the changes NASCAR's made. I think they've done a great job on handling the COVID situation and everything else they've done. I think they've done a miraculous job at it. I think Atlanta put a great show on this weekend. Yeah. I know that's different, and they had a lot of hot takes on it, but I thought it was phenomenal. So I love it. But all right, man. Well, listen, where can everybody follow you on social media and keep up with what you got going on? Yeah, Christian Rose Racing on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and then ChristianRoseRacing.com. We're going to have everything updated here pretty soon, but our social handles are constantly clicking off pretty solid every week. So website's going to have some adjustments here pretty soon, but that's how you can follow along with us. I love it. All right, man. Well, listen, I had an absolute blast with you, and would love to have you back on. Maybe around the All-Star break, we can do a little more deep dive into baseball and see how things are going for you from a racing side of things. Absolutely. I would love to come back. I appreciate you having me on. I really do. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, huge thanks to Christian Rose for calling into the show tonight, man. Listen, best of luck to you the rest of 2022, and we'll talk to you soon, man. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Take care. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, that is going to do it for episode 273 of the Lap Traffic Podcast. Make sure you check out their website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, Facebook, The Lap Traffic Podcast, YouTube, Lap Traffic Podcast, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, all at Lap Traffic PC. Huge thanks to Jack Wood, Christian Rose, and Aaron Studwell for calling into the show tonight. Had a blast tonight. Tonight was a lot of fun. Don't get caught chasing the lucky dog. Make sure you tune in each and every week to the Lap Traffic Podcast. See ya.